Happy New Year and welcome to another episode of whatever this show is called. Oh, it's called From East to West AMA, which stands for Ask Me Anything, in case you were unaware of that. I am joined by my co-host, Brett Bohannon, who is mobile right now, so he will not be on camera, although he is a very good-looking dude if you were thinking or wondering what he looks like if you've never seen this before. And we just got disconnected from him, but hopefully he'll come back and join us. My name is Michael Marr, and I own and run an agency called Cartology. We work with brands to help them to grow and become category leaders. And I've been in the e-commerce space for 15 years, and I love it. And Brett's been around for a really long time too. Brett, say hi to the people if you can hear us.
Hello. No video for me today. Sorry, everyone. I know you were looking forward to seeing my face.
Yes, I was looking forward to seeing your face. But in case anyone was wondering, he does have a beanie on, and he's probably somewhere close to snowboarding. Am I right?
That's correct.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's a pretty good guess, especially in the wintertime up there in Bend, Oregon. Happy New Year, Brett. How's your New Year going so far?
Well, I actually know what day it is now.
Okay.
Over the holidays,
what day is it?
It was quite. I don't think it's Thursday.
It is, yeah. You didn't know what day it was over the holidays?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, it is Thursday. Do you know what the date is? 9th. Yeah, you're right. Sweet. It's good. I'm impressed. I would like to talk about something that I think you know a little something about. Let's talk about Amazon.
Ooh, Amazon, huh?
Yes. I think it makes sense to talk about. Let's talk about this because I'm seeing people post about it, and maybe it's a good time to talk about it. And I just responded to something on X. We don't have to say formerly known as Twitter anymore, which I think is great, by the way. Although I kind of technically said it by just saying that there. But there are an increasing amount of Chinese sellers on Amazon. Does that really hurt brands, or is it kind of a moot point?
I think there's two sides to that tale or to that coin. I think yes, and I'll say yes in instances for smaller sellers and like smaller, as they call it, quote unquote, private label sellers who are just trying to, sell product on Amazon. I think it hurts them. I think bigger brands that have well-known names and that are in other retail channels, brick and mortar, other online channels, not as much. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm in that same camp. I think if you're selling something more generic, or you do not have the backing of a bigger company or notoriety in retail, and you are Amazon only or Amazon and D2C, yes, I think you're at a huge disadvantage. If you're a retail brand, you've got that going for you. You've got that awareness. Or if you have a strong D2C presence and you're not Amazon only and you're selling on Amazon, I think you have an advantage against the Chinese brands, because the Chinese brands are not doing brand building. And I think Amazon really is becoming more of a brand building platform because it's more of a legit retailer like a Target or a Walmart. So I 100% agree with that. I also think that if what everyone is saying is true, which I believe it is, they don't pay tax. I mean, they're not paying income tax. They're not paying anything back to the States. Then they're benefiting off of us and Amazon, and that hurts us as a whole. And I'm sure there's a lot of solutions that are out there, but I don't think it's just going to be one. I don't think like just slapping tariffs on is going to fix the problem.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, back when I was doing private label when I started in 2016, and what I it's been going on for a while. Like the Chinese sellers will identify products that are doing well and basically copy them and sell them for cheaper. It happened with my products, and if you kind of stay stagnant, it can put you down. It can definitely hurt sales. It did for ours, but what a smart marketer does is differentiate themselves from those products. Um, Identifying why your product is better than the other products that are now showing up for particular keywords or in certain niches, and explaining why it's better. That's what good marketers do. And if I know most of the sellers that are still alive today have done that throughout their tenure and selling on Amazon.
Okay. I think that's a great point, but it can be, excuse me, it can be kind of esoteric. Like, yeah, let's, differentiate your product. Let's talk about a concrete example of how someone can truly differentiate their product. Now, we can't validate, I think, that right here and now, but let's use the example of a t-shirt.
A t-shirt?
Yeah. I'm just putting you on the spot. How would you differentiate, let's say, just a normal t-shirt? What are things that you could do to differentiate? Maybe there's another product that's better. I really don't know. You want to pick another product? I'm okay with that. Candles,
No, t-shirt's fine. T-shirt's good. Very commoditized, but if you're selling a premium t-shirt and you're trying to figure out how to differentiate yourself, I just totally messed up that word.
Differentiate.
But
you were so close.
You know what I mean. If let's just say maybe that t-shirt, and this is very generic, is made from organic cotton from India that supports, certain you know communities within India. Like, explain that. You know, use some kind of marketing that explains that, and utilize the fact that, hey, maybe this shirt lasts 5 times as longer than the regular shirt. That is half the price. So technically, the value versus wear is there, kind of thing, something along those lines.
Yeah, I feel like when we're thinking about differentiation, you actually have to start with the product, the manufacturing, the product quality.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, 100%.
If you are just thinking, oh, it's my product features or how I talk about those features, that's a part of it, but you actually have to have a reason why someone would buy your product over someone else's. That's true of an American brand, of a Romanian brand, of a Chinese brand. It doesn't matter. Chinese brands are mostly, I think, wanting to compete on a cost, and you will not be able to beat them on cost alone because they're going to be able to manufacture it cheaper. They've got all kinds of subsidies from their government. If you look at them, just their own postal system, like it's super cheap to ship stuff around, and they can do it really, really quickly. And there's just so much to that whole ecosystem. It's deeper than I could even go, or I think you could go.
100%.
But you have to actually have something that differentiates. And I think all that really means is the product that I have has a materially better use case, or the features of this product are materially better than this other product over here. And I think what you said is great, because a lot of consumers are thinking about what is the mission behind a brand and why would I support this brand, which is why people are willing to pay more money for a product that maybe, like, you could get cheap deodorant, but maybe you want to go with a company that identifies with your values of being inclusive or having non-GMO organic stuff. You know what I mean? Like that, I think is what is materially different.
Yeah. And I every time I have this conversation, I think of Tom's. Remember Tom's shoes?
Yeah.
Like, I think they were one of the first. I forgot what's that term? Is it socially conscious brand or something like that? Where it's like, hey, you buy a pair of shoes, we give a pair of shoes away to children in need. and they actually did it, and I think a lot of brands sometimes tout it and they don't, and and it's feel good and fluffy, and I don't know the numbers, but I would assume probably some of them actually don't do it.
Like they don't actually hold true to what they're saying they're going to do.
Yeah, I would assume so. I can't say that for 100% certainty, but
I think
yeah,
Patagonia is actually a really great
Patagonia is a
example
great one.
because of product quality, but also how they treat people. You can't, one, walk into a Chinese retail store because they're not here. Two, you try to get a new jacket after 20 years of wearing it down and it doesn't work anymore. It's never going to happen.
Yeah.
And I doubt that the Chinese companies have a mission statement of we want to be more eco-conscious and eco-friendly and do better on the environment and donate to those causes. I don't know, but I'm just saying based on someone trying to compete on price, it doesn't really feel like that would be part of the MO.
Well, there's also a flip side to this as well. And
Tell me about that flip side.
I don't know if you know where I'm going to go, but I'm going to go here.
Let's go.
A lot of it is these big brands, they're being manufactured by the same companies that are manufacturing the same products. Like they'll just slap on the big brand logo and it will go off to the right, and this exact same product with a different logo will go off to the left, on these manufacturing lines. That's just the case. Now, those big brands sell because of their brand, but also their markup is exuberant. Now, if we go a layer deeper, when these big brands are getting started, they're top quality, they're more expensive, whatnot. But then when they sell to these private equity companies, other big companies, and they're like, hey, we can keep the cost. We can actually lower the cost of manufacturing and keep the cost or even raise it and make bigger margins. So sometimes quality actually goes down. I think the Lululemon see-through workout pants is one example of that.
Tell us about that.
Oh, I don't know. A couple years ago, I think Lululemon had some problems with see-through pants.
Not intentional see-through pants.
Not intentional. No.
They were not trying to make lingerie for workout.
And although, I won't
I would
blast
argue
some...
that a lot of that stuff kind of already looks like lingerie, the athleisure wear that's out there. But
well, it also happens in big CPG companies, like big food companies. Smart Sweets is one of them. I think Smart Sweets, when they're first getting on, their formulation was awesome, and I think when they sold, their formulations changed. And
no, we stopped using that product at the Mar household. I loved it, but it was getting hard. It was texture was different, and so I was like, nope, sorry, not a fan of that.
So on that flip side, my wife actually prefers some of the cheaper leggings and stuff like that because she's like, hey, they're cheap, I can run through them, they're comfortable, they fit me a little bit better.
Your wife is a big fan of China is what you're saying, right?
No, I'm just saying there's flip sides, and I think that everyone's dealing with that, and it's funny to look at all the angles of it.
If you don't start with product, I feel like everything has to start with product. And it's easy to say, I'm not a product design expert, nor am I a product idea expert. I think sometimes people want to have a successful business selling on Amazon, and they go to someone like myself who knows the platform really well and like, how do I be successful? It's like, well, what's your product? Well, it's this thing, and I want to get a lot of sales. Great. Okay, I think we're getting ahead of ourselves. Tell me why your product, why people should buy it. Well, it's great, and it does all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. Can it really do that? I don't know. I think the reason a bigger companies have the benefit that, yes, their product sells because their brand name, but the brand name means something.
Yeah.
They have done so much consumer research, beaten it with a dead horse. Sorry to any of you animal advocates out there, but they have done so much consumer research on their brand, on their product, use cases, studies, all those kinds of things, focus groups. They've spent so much time, and they've got, lots of smart people working on that. So they're pretty confident in their product when they put it out. Not every single product, but that, hey, this is going to be a winner. And then we find right market fit and proof of concept. Most brands that are Amazon native, that are what we would call private label or white label, they're just like, what's a product that I could potentially pull a margin on? And then maybe there's opportunity and there's demand, but that's not actually solving the demand. You're instantly commoditizing yourself, which is why someone like Simple Modern, I think, can be so successful, because they're looking at what the need is. They're actually designing a brand and product quality behind it. I don't know what they treat customers like. I imagine it's really great. And from what I can see from the founders, they seem like good people. But that is a real differentiator, and they put a lot of time and energy into the product itself before they ever bring it to market.
Yeah.
But I don't know that people are really starting with product. And the Chinese sellers have actually gotten really a lot better at media assets, at copy, at A+ content. They were not originally good at that. And they've gotten better, but they're still not great, because I have tons of screenshots on my phone of language that just doesn't make sense on a PDP. And or you look at stuff even in packaging. Like, my daughter got a mannequin head that had long hair, and she was braiding it and all that kind of stuff on it. And I'll never forget this. When she got it, the box on the package, and this is something that would be on a listing, the box packaging said "afraid of wet."
Yeah.
Instead of "not waterproof," but it was a Google Translate version of "not waterproof" or don't get wet. Afraid of wet. And that's the name of my new band. I'm publicly coming out right now. I'm starting a band called Afraid of Wet. But that's an example of, it's all commodity. They're always going to win on price. Do I think that there's regulation that needs to happen? For sure. At least just some kind of fair playing ground of, you actually have to pay tax into the U.S. economy. You can't just totally grift off that. But I also think if you want to start a brand, you really need to think about, what is the product? Is there quality? Is there market fit? What can we do to do consumer research ahead of time? And I think the benefit of the internet right now is you can do a lot of those things faster and cheaper. Maybe not to the extent that a big brand can, but you can do them a lot faster and cheaper. A great example would be, you want to do consumer research, use a tool like PickFu. It's going to be 1/100th the cost of doing actual consumer research with focus groups and panels and stuff like that. You could do that, and it's still possible, but you could easily set up a poll in PickFu, go after different demographics and test, and then say, is my product good or not?
Yeah.
Before you ever launch. Now, it takes
100%.
investment, and maybe you're in 20,000 in a brand before you ever get started, but you could test those concepts for like $50, $100. And that research will, I think, pay dividends.
Yeah.
Not actual dividends, but some kind of something helpful, like money.
Yeah. Like money. I think you're absolutely correct.
What else am I correct about?
Having me on this show, it's pretty correct.
Pretty correct. Awesome. Pretty correct. Not totally correct.
Not totally correct, but pretty correct.
I kind of feel like this show is missing something.
We should have Josh on here before we all take the stage at Prosper.
Okay, I'm down for that.
Give a little Prosper preview.
I like it. Let's do it. But I think there's something else that's missing.
What's that?
Cocktail time.
Oh. Cocktail time.
How do we make that happen?
I'll do a mocktail. I'm off the sauce right now.
Oh, okay. For how long? Just dry January?
No, I actually started a little bit ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
I like it.
Okay.
I don't miss it.
I think that's great. I still enjoy drinking. Maybe I'm one of the people, I don't think I'm in the minority there, but I think it's great. If people stop drinking, they feel better doing it, like, more power to you. I don't want to be one of those people that's like, oh, come on, man, why don't you just stop being a baby and drink already?
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
stupid. But
No, I'm doing it just because of like personal health reasons and kind of
yeah.
just as a test. I like to do tests, and um, I'm not large by any means. I had a little inflammation and it's all gone. So that's kind of
Oh,
nice.
okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, it is especially in large quantities, it's a toxin. So something
Yeah.
to keep in mind. But yeah, I had a friend over last night and we were sharing a little bit of bourbon. We didn't have a ton, but I'm just so fascinated by the world and the history behind it. And of course, pairing the drinking with it is fun, but it's a lot of fun. Anyway, well, we can do mocktails. That's fine. Or you can have like an athletic brewing beer. Are you doing non-alcoholic beer?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I've gotten in really into tea. I like tea. I'm actually sipping on some black tea right now.
Like ayahuasca?
Mm, no, I'm okay with that. I don't need cheat codes to figure out my life.
Boom. All right. Well, here's a cheat code for you. It was in a different language. I can't tell you what the actual cheat code is. I'm really sorry.
Okay. All right,
So,
no problem.
what else?
Keep that chill.
What what else is important for people to know right now going into 2025?
Well, you know how I made that little Amazon bullet point checker on ChatGPT? I made a
Right.
title checker
Okay.
when Amazon announced that changes to the titles are coming up. So that's available. It's pretty nifty, pretty cool. Yeah, it's good times.
You're doing that because Amazon has made announcements to title changes, correct?
Yep, yeah, they made it like I don't know, was it last week or so? No repetitions, but then in like a seller forum yesterday, basically they said you can have the same exact word twice, but you can't have it 3+ times, which is kind of interesting because usually repetition means more than once. And plural, you don't want to have it plural as well. That's the two main takeaways from that little seller forum that occurred yesterday with Amazon and sellers.
Okay. I like it.
Yep. Yep.
It was a live forum.
Yeah, it was basically all day from like 9 to 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and people could go into this thread and ask questions, and then moderators from Amazon would answer them.
Oh, cool.
Basically, I sift through them. Those two things were the main things that kind of came about. Other than that, it's pretty much exactly what the announcement said. Just keep it fresh, keep it good.
Keep it fresh. I think keep it fresh is just a good policy for life. Like keep yourself fresh.
I agree.
I like it. Well, I think excited about but I'm excited about the new year. I think there's a ton of opportunity and there's a lot more complexity to Amazon. But I think the people that will win this year, if we're going to make predictions, the people that are going to win this year are the people that are willing to question how they're doing things, people that
Always.
are willing to make adjustments to how they do things. And I think one of the biggest things for Amazon is going to be how you measure success. I think if you can frame that differently, and I talked about it on, I think the last time that I went live when it was just me, which was, I'm going to be honest, it was a little weird because I just was talking to the camera for 30 minutes and I didn't have stuff prepared, but it ended up being great. I ended up having great content, but it was definitely better. I think it's better with you.
Well, I think none of this is prepared, and that's what I love about this is we just kind of go off the cuffs.
But it was just I had no one to riff with. I was riffing off myself, so it was a little. But again, great content. But I think if the biggest thing I think is how you measure stuff because of how Amazon works. I think it always comes back to how Amazon works and what's the goal. Amazon's goal is to be the most customer-centric company in the world, getting the right product in front of the right people at the right time and the right selection of product. That is what Amazon is ultimately about. How you measure your success, I think, needs to change. And the biggest thing I believe is not just looking at organic rank or visibility, but looking at what's your actual ownership of the market. and how you're evaluating that, because that information is there to put together, not completely, but you can aggregate that information. It'll give you an idea of where you're at.
100%. Well said.
What advice would you give to people going into this year, and or what predictions do you have?
I don't know. I think it's going to be the same. There's going to be lots of new things coming out. Amazon's going to announce lots of new features. Just remember, it always starts at the foundations. Got to have your foundation set, and then you can build upon that. So,
what are the foundations people should be building from?
Oh man, really, it's just having good, solid foundations of your listings. I mean, like you said, product, your catalog, your actual PDP, your advertising. Like, advertising is so crazy that there's so much noise out there. You gotta do this, you gotta do this. But I think what you just said was perfect. It's you gotta cut your own goals and go for that. Don't listen to anyone else's goals, because everyone else's goals is going to be their goals, not yours. When it comes to selling on Amazon. So I think that's the biggest thing.
Okay. Create goals for yourself that are reflective of your core values.
Yeah. Or like what you want to achieve. So
my core value is money.
There you go. Profitability.
It's just money.
Just money.
I want to be Scrooge McDuck and dive into money. And I don't care about people or anything. I just want to make some money. That's it.
There you go.
If you believe that, I feel sorry for you.
Oh, that's funny.
Hey, it's been good. When do we do these, Brett?
Usually once a month.
Once a month. Usually on the second Thursday of the month at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Western. And that's why we call it from east to west, because I'm on the East Coast and you're on the West Coast. But technically, neither of us are on coast. We're inland.
That's correct.
So that's okay. I think I'll give us a pass.
Yeah.
Well, it's been real. Let's do what it do. And man, I really want to play this band Bill Murray that I've been listening to, but I don't know what copyright laws are. Or maybe he would like it if the 500,000 people that are watching this right now and hear his music. But yeah, there's a lot of people on today. So
that's 100,000 less than last time. So
I know.
That's okay.
And I was by myself last time.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All right. Well, it's been real. Amazon AMA from east to west. East out.
West out.